One of the easiest plants to draw has got to be this box-shaped shrub. It's super simple with a straightforward form, making it a great way to practice shading. Once you learned how to draw this shrub, you can use this technique on a variety of shrubs. We'll kick things off with a quick warm-up exercise to practice shading. Then I will walk you step by step through drawing this shrub. Don't forget, there is a free worksheet you can download from my website at imiart.com, and you can find the link in the description below. If you want more practice and want to see the rest of the drawing in real-time speed, consider joining my Patreon. There you'll also have access to bonus worksheets for each drawing and all the previous content I posted. Without further ado, let's dive in and have some fun. For this warm-up exercise, we're going to shade a cuboid real quick. It's super easy, so grab a pen and sketch with me freehand. I know it can be a bit challenging, but just have fun with it. Don't worry about being perfect. Start by drawing a vertical line, then add 2 shorter vertical lines on both sides, making the one on the right a bit closer. Now connect those lines. If you want your lines to look like mine, try to draw a little faster. Don't move your pen too slowly, just give it a bit of speed. The reason those 2 vertical lines on the sides are shorter is all about perspective. On the free worksheet you can download, which I highly recommend if you are not familiar with 2-point perspective, you will find a step-by-step guide to draw this cuboid with more details. I don't want to overwhelm you with too much information right now. It might take a little practice to get the best results, but focusing on the basics will help you improve faster. Even now, I still revisit the fundamentals often to keep improving. One of the classes I'm taking on Skillshare is called Drawing in 3 Dimension by Brent Aveston. I'm relearning how to draw the primary shapes by following this class. The class focuses on practicing basic forms and capturing the form of objects, which is so essential for creating depth in your artwork. It's always good to learn from different artists because each one brings a unique perspective. This diversity in teaching styles and techniques helps me discover new ways to see and interpret my drawing. Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. If you don't know yet, Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives, offering thousands of classes across various fields such as fine art, graphic design, photography, and animation. These classes are taught by industry experts, and you get to learn by creating projects and receiving feedback from the community. I use Skillshare to pick up various skills such as graphic design and digital drawing. Each class is broken down into small, manageable sections, making it easy to follow along at your own pace. Learning from different artists' perspectives really helps me expand and explore my styles. If you want to learn a new skill or hobby, Skillshare is a great community to join. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Get started today. Back to our drawing. Without light, we can't really see things. So let's place our light source up in the left corner here. Grab 3 shades of any colors you like. If you don't have 3 shades, there is a way to shade without needing a bunch of colors, and I will link to that tutorial in the top right corner. Start with the lightest shade. Follow the direction of the plane. Use vertical strokes for vertical surface and horizontal strokes for horizontal surface. I like to use quick strokes and lift my pen at the end to create a nice gradation, but that's optional. I will show you a different method later on. Now switch to your second shade and focus on adding some darker values on the right side of the cuboid and the front. Remember, the top side should be the lightest since the light is coming from the upper left. For a little artistic flair, you can use uneven strokes like I'm doing here, skipping some areas to add texture. Once the first layer dries, go back with the same second shade to darken some spots. Remember, layering the ink can deepen the color. Now grab your third shade of gray to darken the shadow side and the cast shadow. Now you've got a three-dimensional cuboid. I'm going to do another one, but this time I will speed things up a bit. Instead of using quick strokes, I'm slowing down and coloring each plane with less gradation, and I won't skip any areas. As you can see, the result is pretty good too, so feel free to choose the styles that suits you best. There is no right or wrong way to do it. Now you have learned how to draw a box. Drawing a box-shaped shrub is just as simple. Grab a pencil and let's sketch the outline first. If you haven't yet, there is a free worksheet you can download from my website, which gives you more details on using the two-point perspective to draw this box. I also have a tutorial on two-point perspective that I will link in the top right corner and in the description. You can totally draw this without knowing two-point perspective. I don't want to overwhelm beginners with too much information in one video. Just remember that the two vertical lines on the sides should be shorter and a little taller than the vertical line in the center. That will help you capture the form. Once we finish the outline, lightly erase it so the pen ink can better stick to the paper. Now grab a pen. I like to use size 3. Just follow your pencil outline and start drawing those dancing pointed marks. Lightly erase it so the pen ink can better stick to the paper. Some will be pointy like cat ears, while others will look like dancing flames, and some might just be scrambled lines. But they should be consistent overall to mimic the shapes of the leaves. Our light source is coming from the upper left corner again. Drawing denser marks on the right side can help contribute to the dark value and add depth. On the top edge, I will draw looser marks because top plane will have the lightest value. On the ground, I'm going to draw some small pebbles, but I won't be drawing them to cover the entire area, just a few groups to represent it. This saves time and make it easier. Now let's dive into the fun part, coloring. I like to start with a yellow color, but it is optional. I will color some areas unevenly to give an undertone to the green color later. The yellow color will also look like the sunlight is hitting it. Then switch to a light green color and shade the box, just like we did with the warm-up exercise before. You don't have to use vertical strokes on vertical plane. That was just a suggestion. Depending on the texture of the object and how you want your drawing to look, feel free to change the direction as you like, just keep it consistent. I'm adding a few more marks here to increase the volume. For the pebbles, I'm gonna use blue and sand colors. Now let's switch to a second shade of green. We're going to dab some strokes to add texture. I'm using the chisel tip of my marker to dab rectangle-shaped strokes and blend them a little to make them more rounded. Now switch to a third shade of green and repeat the process, mainly darkening the bottom of the shrubs and the shadow side. While we're waiting for the ink to dry a bit, we can add some grass around and color the pebbles a little more. Make sure the cast shadow dark enough to create some contrast, but do not use pure black. I recommend coloring the pebbles less on the light side so it doesn't look too busy. I'm going to use a fourth shade of green to add more contrast, but it is also optional. You can repeat the third shade depending on how dark it is. If you don't have a darker green, a dark gray or blue-green works too. To ground the drawing a bit more, grab a brush pen or a black marker to add some small shadows. Here, we can use a pure black. Just a little bit will stand out, so be careful not to overdo it. This shrub really reminds me of matcha green tea cake. It just looks so delicious. Last but not least, let's grab some white paint or a white pen to add those highlights. We can dab some green marks around the shrub to create a nice atmosphere and give our drawing a bit more artistic flair. Now let's enhance the shadow one more time. Don't be afraid of adding darker colors, but I'm definitely a little afraid of it myself. It's so easy to overdo it. Make sure you take a break to relax your eyes before making this decision. There you have it, a lovely shrub. By using the same technique, you can explore other forms, like curved shrubs, a boxed flower bed, or low-profile shrubs. These are all fantastic practice ideas. If you would like to watch these drawings in real-time videos and download more detailed worksheets to follow along with, consider joining my Patreon. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. A big shout out to all my Patreon members and YouTube members. Thank you so much for your support. It really helps me keep creating and sharing more art with all of you. I will see you in the next video.